Scrap Mechanic Survival. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the developer. Enter the creative paradise of Scrap Mechanic. Build fantastic machines, go on adventures with your friends, and defend against waves of evil farm bots in this imaginative multiplayer survival sandbox. With Scrap Mechanic's powerful creation tools, you can engineer your own adventures. This game, guys, came out a few years ago, Scrap Mechanic, and it didn't really appeal to me at all. It looked pretty boring, to be honest. But 2 weeks ago, guys, they added a survival mode, an open world survival mode with co-op. Now that appeals to me. So I bought a couple of copies, guys, and we're about 20 hours in. It's peer-to-peer. There's no dedicated servers yet, which is a shame. But anyway, before we get into the game, a quick look at the graphical options. There's a few, to be honest. A few things you can tweak and push and pull and stretch and do whatever you need to get it to run well. Now, speaking of running well, I'm using an i9 2080 and I am getting horrific frame drops. Not all the time, but when it happens, it drops to about 16 frames, which is a shame. You really do feel that. Your whole game stutters and chugs along. It seems to be when it's trying to load in rather large buildings, because there's a few big warehouse buildings in this game, and that tends to slow the game down just a little bit, only for about a second or so. It's early access, so we'll cut them a little bit of slack, but they need to get that fixed. It's a bit annoying. There's also a FOV slider, and this is first and third person. You choose, you decide what you want to actually use. Well, I'm first person all the way. Unless I'm driving, then I'm third person, so I can see around me to make sure I'm not going to whack some obstacles. So what do? Well, you start the game in a wreck of a spaceship, salvage what you can, and then follow the yellow brick road, so to speak, and try and find somewhere to create a base. There's a nice garage a little bit further up the road that we decided to create our base, and there's a few functional machines in there. Once we powered them up with a battery we found or salvaged from our spaceship, we were able to get crafting. Now, usual stuff, chop down a tree, you get this big kind of hammer. So what you do, you smack the tree falls over, then you smack the logs a little bit, then that splinters it down even further, and then you can refine the wood that's left, and that will create a block of wood, basic wood. You then create machines in your base to do anything you like, and that's the thing, guys. I want you to imagine this game goes from prehistoric to modern day. It doesn't, but let's just imagine that's the progress line for machinery. We're still in prehistoric after about 20 hours. It's grindy, yes, quite hard at times, as I'll come to in a second, but so much damn fun. So much. The progress in this game, the way they've handled progression is brilliant. Basically, how it works is this. You will run out of food and water, and you'll die. You can make a bed, and that will allow you to respawn on it, like Minecraft and 7 Days to Die and other survival games. You need to start growing your own food. Now, here's the thing. When you start planting crops, you will immediately get a warning that you are illegally harvesting and planting crops, and the farm bots will come to wreck your farm, and you'll get a countdown timer as to when they're coming. Now, there's different types of crops. There's basic stuff like tomatoes, beets, carrots. They don't care too much about that. They'll attack in a few numbers depending on how many crops you plant, but nothing you can't really handle with your hammer. But if you start growing the higher crops, the tier 3 crops, then you're going to be in serious trouble, especially if you plant a lot of them. You'll get a shit ton of farm bots attacking you that are reasonably hard to kill with a hammer. Now, what we did, we reinforced our farm with a solid wooden fence with 3 durability. We then put this wire onto it, which also has 3 durability, and we thought we were pretty much okay. And I then planted tier 3 crops, and I didn't actually record the attack, but all that was left was one crop, and you can see the damage that they did to the actual defenses, and we died 2 times each trying to defend them all. It was just freaking havoc. Now, you need tier 3 crops to be able to get better equipment. Now, how it works is really ingenious. You need vehicles in this game, guys, and one of the best things about this game is the ingenuity that you create vehicles with. When you're creating a vehicle, you have to stick your engine in and then line everything up to your wheels and your drive system. You have to put bearings on it. It sounds complicated, but it's piss easy. It really is easy. But you don't just make traveling machines to get you from A to B. You can make planes, jet planes. You can make huge, amazing machines that will not only chop a tree down, but strip it and refine it and process it. It's insane. You can make huge sprinkling systems. You can make forklift trucks. You can make whatever you want in this. It's such a sandbox game. It's just whatever your mind conceives up, you've probably got the bits to make it. And that makes the game amazing. You can upgrade nearly every component as well. I mean, the first car we made it would hardly get up hills, but it's now got a stage 3 engine on it, bigger, better wheels, and it gets us around really fast. And we've kind of got it customized as a van and a carrier with a big chest on the back with a vacuum pump stuck onto it, which fires the produce, because I've wired it up to a switch, and it'll fire the produce into a huge packaging machine, which is essential for trading, and I'll show you how that works. You simply reverse up and line up with the correct inlet port for the crops that you want to have packaging. So let's say you're wanting to have beets, you would just look for the beet sign and then reverse up, stick the nozzle in the hole, switch the switch on, and just keep firing all the beets out of your case through the nozzle and into the machine. Every time it gets 10, it will send them flying out to the side, all packaged up. When you've finished sending them into the machine, you pick all your packages up, put them on the back of your van, drive away and take them to the trader. The trader is this old guy who lives in the hills, in the mountains, and he has guns. He has guns, guys. He has guns, machine guns that fire potatoes. You need them. Unfortunately, to get them, you need tier 3 crops. Now, the only way you can get really the seeds for tier 3 crops is off this guy. So you take whatever he wants for his tier 3 crops, seeds, you then grab the seeds, plant them, defend them, harvest them, and you'll get more seeds off your harvested crop. This will allow you can see where it goes, this will allow you then to create as much of these tier 3 crops as you need to trade a gun. There's one ingredient missing though, a caged farmer. Yes, the developers has a sense of humour as well. There's these farmers, they look like farmers, they are farmers, I'm sure they're farmers, that are in cages. They've been caged by the bots and they're randomly scattered around this big open world. And you need to trade them in too. And getting them into the back of a truck without any kind of proper machinery was like Laurel and fucking Hardy, guys. Just exploring the world's fun. The world looks fantastic. You can go underwater as well. There's lakes, there's rivers, there's big oceans, there's beaches, there's rocks, there's mud areas. It's not like mud that you get stuck in, but it's just like there's no grass and that. There's huge cornfields, loads of buildings to explore. There's different levels of bots. There's a big frickin' bot that just killed us and smashed our bloody car up. I mean, we'd done a load of scavenging in the car. We had a crate full of good loot. This bot just attacked us. It was chasing me through the fields, and my girlfriend was in the car, and she's like picking us up on the road. I ran, jumped in, but I wasn't quick enough, and it smacked the back. The loot crate went flying in bits. We lost everything, and a wheel as well. There's also bots with guns. There's a lot of shit out there, a lot of shit, and you need shit to make shit to defeat all the shit. So there you go, guys. This is £15. We've hardly scratched the surface 20 hours in. It's a great game to play in the lockdown. Peer-to-peer, you join through Steam. Needs dedicated servers. It needs a map. It needs marker points. It needs a few things, but it's early access. So we'll see where this goes. I'm quite excited to see where this goes because the developer, not only does he have a sense of humour, but he's had some great ideas and he's made a great freaking game here. Definitely want to get if you're into co-op survival. Hey, even if you want to play by yourself, solo survival, this will tick that box for you.